Hey ladies and gents, this is Constance with Charming Custom Crafts, and I said I was going to try to catch up on my videos, and technically the last time I did a video for my craft page, the Charming Custom Craft page, it's either under Charming Crafts or Charming Custom or Custom Crafts. You'll find me, it's got a Mickey Mouse logo on it with Minnie Mickey, with my name on it, with my business name. So anyway, I am behind, so I'm going to share everything up until today with all these videos. It's all going to go up at once, and then I do have the next 3 days done, though I'll record them, but you guys will see them as the day hits. So this is from April 14th. This is my altered version of a shadow box. Before I show it, some of you have already seen it on the page. This is of my dog that had passed away. I had her for just shy of 11 years. She was a Labrador Retriever, the absolute best dog ever. And almost 11 years, she had 7 accidents. 4 of them were my fault because I didn't get home in time, because Labrador dogs' bladder can last forever. But when we moved here, we couldn't bring her immediately, so I left her at my mom's for 6 months. And we only had the 2 little girls, Rose and Janelle at the time. When we moved here, we ended up, when we went in the hotel in between, well, we were in a condo month by month until we stayed in a hotel for like 6-7 weeks, before we moved into our house. We got another little dog, that's Lily. You guys have been watching my pages. Then we had Bella, and unfortunately I had to get rid of Bella. We didn't know we didn't have to until we were getting ready to move in here. Long story, but anyway, when we got Annie back and I had her checked out, we found out she had a mass, and they thought, well, maybe it's because what she was eating at my mom's compared to here. And then we had it further evaluated and found out that she had cancer. They told me she had 6 months to live, and the vet wanted to do surgery, and then put her through chemo radiation. And I asked her if she would survive the surgery, and she said, we've never had anybody survive it. And I'm like, well, why the hell would you recommend it? And we're like, no, that's just not right. That's putting her through worse. We did end up finding out as the months went on that she had 2 kinds of cancer. She ended up having like egg cancer nodules on her ribs, and then this huge football mass by the time she passed. She made it 7 months, 1 week, and I didn't even want to take her in because I knew, because we take her out for special walks in the last 2 weeks that she refused. I actually took all the girls in for a checkup, and I knew that she had a yeast infection in her ears, which is equivalent to an ear infection. And they told me she was bleeding internally, which explains why she didn't want to walk through the last 2 weeks. So I know everybody talks about what were you doing 11/11 of 11, and sadly on 11/11/11, at 11/11, I was putting her down. One of the most god-awful things that anybody can ever experience. She had gone through every deployment with me. I got her when my kids were in preschool and kindergarten. So this was devastating for us. My son's best friend and my best friend. And so anyway, when she passed, I had everything set up, and she was cremated, and I had this hand-carved box made for her, and her name was on the front of it in a little brass plate that was engraved. And it took me 2 weeks to go pick it up because it was just so hard on me. And when I got there, they actually surprised me. They had done her paw print and clay, and they cooked it, which was the cutest thing in the world. And I think I lost it just as much as 2 weeks before when I put her down. So, I ended up turning that into a Christmas ornament. So it's on my tree every year, except this last year, which bugged me. But she's now obviously been gone almost 5 years. She's been gone 4.5, almost 4.5. Anyway, I had bought this figurine when I found out she was dying, and it was the most precious thing. And I'm not a big Chosky person, but I have been closely guarding this thing for the last 4 years. And when I started working for Joann's for the holidays, I thought, okay, I'm gonna get it done. And the day that they ended up, letting me go because seasonal, they let everybody go, was the day I was going to order, which is kind of aggravating. But I ended up checking their price and then Michael's, and I was highly disappointed to find out that it was like an 8x8 frame, double framed, and wide enough for me to use for this figurine. It was going to cost me over $200, and I'm just going, what? And that's with all their discounts that they run, like 60% off with 20% or 70% off with another 20%. It was absolutely outrageously priced. And it happened to be like buy one, get the second one free. So I ended up finding these 2 shadow boxes, and I thought, well, I can alter these. So I'm going to show you what I did. It's not fancy, but I didn't want it to be. But I'm really proud of it because now I can, memorialize her a little bit. We did end up getting one of those, canvas pictures after she died. So she's always on our wall, so she's still always with the detective. But, here is my, it's going to be hard to show you with the glare. Here is my Annie. Here's that figurine here. So I'm going to show you what I did. I took these 2 frames that were wide enough. I was originally going to put her collar on here, but believe it or not, even on lab, the collar even stretched all the way out, which I'd never stretched it since she passed. So that was kind of hurtful a little bit, but I used E6000 and I sealed it all the way around. I busted out the back of one and busted the glass in the other in the front. I have not taken the tape off the thing here. I did not seal it around the edges, just in case I had to get back into it. Though I hopefully will not have to. It'll be actually hung. But it was like, get this, $20 compared to like $200 some. And those damn people are outrageously stupid. I got, my husband's bachelor's degree, my associate's degree, and his master's degree custom done. But that's a little bit different than just doing a little figurine. So it's kind of a little bit aggravating. But I did it myself. I was really proud of myself. So anyway, so I took some of my velvet soft blue paper. Her color was actually blue, or red. We just kept red on her. And if you can see that little plate there was on her box for from being cremated, her little urn, of course. I actually had her finally buried last year. It took me almost 4 years to bury her. My mom wanted me to ship her to her, and I'm like, I ain't shipping my dog ashes and home. And it didn't seem right to put her in a car when we moved, depending on where we moved to. So it just didn't seem right. And we knew that we were going to sell a house, and we knew we'd never be able to go back, so it didn't seem right. So I came up with a plan. The area to which they put her down, and they put her down in a little area where they have a petting zoo and the atrium. I'm going to put this down for a second. And she loved watching traffic, and she loved people, and she loved other pets, except deer. She absolutely hated deer. Absolutely hated deer. And my second house, my backyard had a thicket, and she'd go bonkers because we had 6 to 8 deer that would come through all the time. Too bad I didn't go hunting because I could have hunted in my backyard. It was amazing. She hated water. A Labrador hated water. She was full-blood Labrador, and she hated water. She hated her feet wet. It was hilarious. But the place that she put her down, they put her outside, and it was funny because the vet told her, the moment I told her that she wasn't leaving, she totally stopped responding, and she never ever not listened. She didn't listen to me anymore. But she would listen to the vet, and they took a blanket out and a sheet, and we laid out there for like 20 minutes and so, and I was talking to her, and she was just totally ignoring me, and she's watching the traffic. And it's a really pretty area. Well, what they did for me, because they love me, and I love them, and they love my animals, and they know that I would take in more if I could. But they took that area where she passed away at and made it into a little flower area, a little flower garden in the middle with some benches. So I made a deal with the vet and the office manager. We're the only ones, and the gardener. We're the only ones that know that, because if I did, if I did it, other people wouldn't do it. But they let me bury her in the middle of that flower garden, exactly where she passed away. So I actually buy them a rose bush every year, and the rose bush I had them put on top of her was called Brandamore, which is a beautiful deep red rose bush, and because her favorite color was, you know, red. And so, you know, I get to go and visit that, you know, where she's at. And I had them open the box, put a little hole in her ashes, and so that, you know, the life cycle would go on. And I thought this was a good share for Mother Earth Month, because of the cycle of life and the love that you have for animals, and cycling on. So, you know, the wood carved box and her ashes will be obviously, you know, continue to be broken down, but that will continuously grow for her in that bush. So to me, she's still a little bit there for me. So every time I go into that, or sometimes I just go and stop by. She was actually buried on Easter. So she rose again, and, you know, with the rose, it was kind of a, you know, weird concept to me, but I mean, my kind of concept of life and love. Weirdly, anyway. So let me explain a little bit more. So I put the blue velvet paper that I had here in the back of it with her little breastplate that I took off. And then I put the little figurine at the bottom with a little more of the velvet paper. And I did clean her collar because I didn't want to. And I had got her the seatbelt collar, and this is before, I don't know if you guys know how popular they are. I actually got Haverty's a seatbelt Disney purse several years ago. It was the last one Disney had at the parks, and they weren't even popular yet. Though at Christmas I did get my son some belts. They're fantastic because they're easy to adjust. But I got the seatbelt here, the seatbelt collar for her, and she loved it. And it's girly, and I just glued it and wrapped it around it, and I kept it very simple because she's a very simple dog. She didn't have any, you know, wants or needs besides to be loved. So I was able to memorialize by just a simple trick. So, you know, of using my own style, and, you know, it saved me a ton of money. And basically, you know, I gave the collar to my son right off the back, and, you know, when I came in, because I had the smell of death obviously on me, and I stayed with her for 20 minutes afterwards because the brain still functions for 15, and I kept telling her I was sorry, but I came in, I let the dog sniff me, and I gave my son the collar and told him to take it up and put it away. And no more, I let the dogs, you know, sniff me, and I shut the door and I stripped down and I took the clothes off because I didn't want the dogs to get upset. Though they went into a little bit of depression. That's how we ended up getting Roxy. Jay ended up going to a really bad depression. And we tried everything and it didn't work. So getting another dog did help. Not that it was something we wanted, especially after her. But anyway, this is my little altered shadow box that I wanted to share for this month. And this is for, I think the 14th is what I said. But I just want to go and show you guys that, you know, simple little boxes, you know, that were normally $20 a piece, I got for $20 for both. Some velvet craft paper, you know, scrapbooking paper I have, and her little brass plate, E6000. And, you know, my husband took the brackets off the one. And then her collar. It was just a simple gesture of, you know, keeping her in our hearts. But I get to look at it all the time, even though I don't get to see her footprint, her paw print, ornament. You know, I could have done it any which way I wanted to do with it, but I thought it was better to put it on the family tree. So I only get to see that at Christmas. So, you know, here, this is my Annie Bella in our hearts forever. So I hope you like it. It's my little shadow box for her. And that's for the 14th of April. So I will talk to you guys later, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.